comments, we'll open them up and go. I'm going to run through them with you real quick here in just a second. Tonight's an historic event for Grant County. While the resolution that some of you are aiming to pass may seem minor, it will open the door that Grant County isn't equipped to handle. Many of these people here tonight are here to show you that they do not agree with what you are doing. And if you don't mind, just a show of hands, how many people do not agree with this? Thank you. Judge, you said we need this resolution for us to get more details from Clean Cloud Energy, but why haven't they talked with the paper? Is the paper here? Did they ever call you back? Because you said it was, did they ever contact you? They called you back? No, I'm saying, you said in their paper you contacted them for comment and you left a message. Okay, that was the last article that I had a chance to read. I was just curious. So, but it isn't illegal to publish a site plan or a development plan on their public website for people to review. Clean Cloud Energy is keeping citizens of our community in the dark for as long as possible. The land is already secured either by a deposit or a first right of refusal, which means they already have done enough studies to know this is where they plan to rape our resources and make billions off of this county. Clean Cloud Energy only needs this resolution to open the door, open a door that will only make it harder for you to say no in the future. Why is it that the first official word of this coming to Grant County, they want to discuss a tax abatement and throw out they can write a $20 million check? This seems very premature for an introduction meeting that no one knew nothing about. Each of you should understand something right now. These companies fail time and time again against communities like ours. They are here because they view us as low-hanging fruit. We have relaxed county laws, minimum legal resources to oppose any future opposition, and their only hope is that you take the bait on the money that they are offering to this county. Why is it you're wanting to have a discussion about the county's monetary gain before ever looking into having any independent studies done for environmental impacts like watershed, how they are sourcing the need for water? How about the study of the potential economic loss, not only for the land being developed there, but also the surrounding land around it? When I say independent study, what I am meaning is studies that the county pays for out of their own pocket and not even considering what the company is trying to present to them. The list of things that need to be considered is like asking an 8-year-old for Christmas what they want for Christmas. The list just keeps growing. Only this list is red flags and issues of a lifetime this community will be facing. Can any of you honestly tell me that it is fair that only after one meeting the Quorum Court should be voting to pass any resolution on something of this magnitude? They say they want to give us $20 million. Is that so we can hire more attorneys who will bill us thousands of dollars and hours of legal fees to write these contracts that are going to be needed? All we have heard is there isn't enough information about this yet. We need a resolution so we can look officially at what they are wanting to do. They say they're a data center, not a Bitcoin mining. You're right in the fact there is a lot of rumors going around. And I want you to know that what I'm sharing with you tonight comes from countless hours of research, data about data centers, blockchain, and the truth about Clean Cloud Energy and so much more. First being the history of Clean Cloud Energy, and second, our water system, and third, Grant County's need for the Quorum Court to protect its citizens from corporations like this in the future. And this packet I give you each is a small portion of the research and information that I have done over the past 18 months. So If you don't mind, we'll go page by page just real quick. I want you to understand this right here. So the first page, very first page is if you look at the bottom, they're numbered. This is A. So it says RENRG is the original company that was founded in October of 2021. This is a screenshot of their Twitter page. And if you go to the page 2, read the first line. So what is blockchain? A system in which a record of transactions, especially those made in cryptocurrency, is maintained across computers that are linked in a peer network. This second page right here shows RENRG partnering with BitGert. The third page behind it is a screenshot of what BitGert is. It is a crypto mining website. And again, please stay with me because I'm going to connect all these dots as we're going. So if you notice the next page, on the right page, I linked this page for context about billion for renewables and blockchain and tokenization, as it says in that caption. The next page would be page 4, is a LinkedIn page. This is again for context. RENRG. Industrial, if you go to the bottom and look at it, it says Industrial Blockchain Services. Harnessing, the next page, harnessing blockchain for solar streams. So, I understand they're saying that it's not a data mining, or it's a data mining process. It's not crypto mining. What I feel they are wanting to do, and this is after, like I said, countless hours of research. They're wanting to put these solar panels out here so they can collect this energy from the sun. They want to form a company that sells tokens to power companies. Have y'all heard of the carbon credits? That's what they're basically looking at, but for the sun, and selling energy to companies through our power system. So they're going to build all these out, run this token system, and sell power through our power grid. The next page just continues to talk about that project and with this company. I apologize. So, this RENRG, what do they have to do with this, right? We're talking about Clean Cloud Energy. That's the company that came here to present. So, I Googled RENRG, and if you look at this next page, at page B, it's a Google search. First line is Clean Cloud Energy. Next line, RENRG Partners is now Clean Cloud Industries. So why is it Clean Cloud Energy is changing their name with a blockchain company attached to them? That's pretty interesting. The second page on that, if you look at it, is basically a marketing ploy. They're going to flood Google because they know that most people are only going to look at the top 3 or 4 key links to what they're searching, and they're going to go with those. So if they put out a press release, and if you look at this press release, news provided by Clean Cloud Energy, and there's several of them through different other news networks. So we're getting there, right? The next page, page C, brought me to this. It's an SEC filing form. You can look at the second line where it says number 2, principal place of business contact. And if you look at line 3, there's a guy's name Manny. If you go to the very last page of this, SEC filing Form D, he's the signer of this. And this is for RENRG development. And in this, it also says at line 13, total amount $500 million in assets in liability is what that was for. So that guy's there. The next section, D, is a filing report from the state of Delaware for Clean Cloud Energy, which means they incorporated on 10/4 of 24. This company is less than a year old now, and they went from a $500 million in equity to $7 billion in asset management. How does that happen? Without ever selling a product. How do you cloud that? Because I would like to know, right? I mean, that's crazy. I'm actually getting the full certificate of this as well. So, of course, they have attorneys' names on that document. But now we're into the Clean Cloud Energy website. You'll go to the second page of the Clean Cloud Energy website. That's going to be in this packet. Who's that first guy there? Manny. Same guy that filed all this paperwork back in 2021 for this other company that's doing blockchain, tokenization of solar power, and all of that. RENRG, like I said, founded in October 25th, 2021. Somehow they had received $500 million in equity and built it, sold it again on September 18th, 2024, changed their name, however you want to look at it, and sold it and became Clean Cloud Energy. And now all of a sudden they have on their website, as they post in that one of those documents, it shows that they have $7 billion in asset management. So who are we dealing with, right? I mean, you want honesty, you want transparency, you want research. I don't know how much more factual we can get like with this. So, as my thing said, I knew about this for about 18 months. We heard rumors and talked about it, and I understand there's official things that we can and can't say, but there's been grumblings, and that's why I started this way back when. So, for context, the fire department received a notification from an environmental study company out of Florida, and that's what Form H is here. So that was this is part of that. That was a picture of that plot of land, and then the second page with the Excel spreadsheet printout is that plot of land with all the parcel numbers. I took all those parcel numbers and I added them up. We wanted facts. We wanted to make sure that we're telling the right information. Well, what I found with those numbers from the county's information was 4,598.29 acres is what they're looking at purchasing total, from what I've seen. And again, I'm just using the data that I saw and what their request was. Does anybody here know how big how many acres the city of Sheridan is? Total acres of the city of Sheridan. 7,757 acres. From my numbers that I pulled from their information, that's 59.27% the size of this community. That is insane. You're talking about a project that is going to be half the size of this community. How do we support it? How do we regulate it? I mean, do you have enough staff, the right contracts? What happens the first time you guys approve this? You guys approve this tonight, hypothetically. We run along here for a year, they say, hey, we found a company now. Okay, great. What happens when y'all don't like that company? They found a company, we don't like it as citizens, y'all don't want to approve it. They've walked into the land. Lawsuit, litigation. I think, was it today, or the other day, somebody in a company just filed another lawsuit filed a attorney general. I mean, this is stuff you're gonna need to be careful about and think about. That $20 million they're saying they can write you, they're gonna spend that $20 million in litigation and lawsuits because you're gonna burn through attorneys. And we don't have the resources to fight it, except for that money they've already given us. And speaking of resources, the last thing in that, which looks like a map, let me get back over here where I'm at. This is a map from the Arkansas Natural Resource Division. It is of Spartan Aquifer. The first page is a 1-year change from 2023 to 2024. The Spartan Aquifer 1-year change, average change, half a foot. They surveyed 90 of 148 wells shown, 90 of 148 wells showed decline. Percent of total wells in decline, 60.8%. Spartan Aquifer 5-year change is the second page. Average change is 3.29. That looks good. 39 of 93 wells shown decline. Percentage of total wells in decline is 41%. So we got to protect our water. I mean, this is for the citizens. This is our drinking water. You know, water rights in Arkansas were set, and water rights and watershed rights were set up in Arkansas to protect the farmers, the well rights of the farmers out in East Arkansas farming. And they protect the watershed rights so they could trap water and release water as they needed to protect their crops. And Arkansas state law pertaining to this was created to protect the farming industry. These laws will soon become loopholes these companies will use to steal our drinking water. They don't need to, they can drill however deep they want, they can build a well as deep as they want and as big as they want. The only thing the state is going to require from the Arkansas Natural Resource standpoint is the fact that they report how much water they pull from. Not a limit, they just have to report it. The Arkansas Natural Resource Commission has no governmental authority on how much water a company can pull from aquifers. Companies will only be required to report how much water they pull from the aquifer. So how can you protect our water? As a county, could you place regulations on well size for commercial companies and limit the amount of water allowed to pull from aquifers in our county, or aquifer in our county? We may not be able to change if they build in the surrounding counties, but at least we can try to protect our citizens. Grant County doesn't have any lakes, it doesn't have any rivers for us to pull from a new water source. Our only water source is going to be the Spartan Aquifer. So, you know, yeah, I'm finishing up here, I'm sorry. But another question for anybody. Anyone here tonight know how many acres is in 250,000 square feet? 5.739 acres. Sheridan has an annual precipitation of 53.03 inches of rainfall per year. You multiply that by 250,000 times the square foot of a flat roof, and you use the formula of 0.623 per square foot, and you're going to get a total of annual rainfall per gallon is going to be 8,259,175 gallons of watershed that is going to be created on top of that building each year. That's going to have to be managed and considered. And if they're talking about building 4 of those, It's gonna be over 33 million gallons of watershed alone. You wanna talk about what this can do for the county and what they're gonna bring the money wise and how it's gonna create all this extra money for us. Little fact here. Eagle Ridge was 120 acres. We had 29 lots, average house, about $600,000. It's $17.4 million. You divide that by the 120 acres that it was, that's $145,000 per acre price. Now, if we took that same acreage and we multiplied it back out, it's $145 million if we did it over time, if we developed this into something, a community or something. If someone asked me, would I be okay with this being built if it was in Grapevine, Owen, Prattsville, but I still have an issue with this project? And the answer is yes, right? And when we open this door to this so-called Clean Cloud Energy, RENRG company, whoever they are, when we open this door to them, how many others are going to flood into this community? We have no regulations to stop anything. The only reason why they're here tonight is because they want the tax abatements, right? There's no laws that protect citizens, all these people in this room, from having a corporation come in and build next door to their house. Well, I have no legal right. Besides standing here tonight, you have no recourse to be able to stop it. They can still build this. They can still do what they want. They just want the tax abatement. And again, once the first one hits, they're going to be looking for more and more and more and more. And where are they going to go? Prattsville, Leola, Grapevine? You can't start this. This is too slippery of a slope. You just can't. That's what I'm saying. I want to warn everybody. I mean, they're going to piggyback. And I hope you pay attention tonight, because these Quorum Court members are your guys. Some of you from this district, some of you from other districts. But like I said, it's going to come to your back door just like it is mine. So, any follow-up questions?
Feeling that this was cut and dried anyway. Anything to that?
I'm gonna make a couple of comments, then we're gonna let Clean Cloud talk in a second.
Or were they were on the agenda?
They are, they got added,
When were they added?
added to the agenda, probably.
Because it was within the last
Hey,
3 days.
did you grab my, did you grab my? First of all, we're on a fact-finding mission. We've never heard of data centers. We've been in a little discussion with another large company in the past months, but we admit we have a lot to learn. We keep throwing out, write us a check for $20 million. I don't know where they got that. I've never said that. They're not fronting us any money to put this project here. That's what it would equal the first year after it's built in tax revenue for the county. And then every year after that, for the next 30 years, we would get revenue because of the improvement they made to the land. So yes, it's a money maker for Grant County. But just like I've had a conversation with a few of you, I'm born and bred Grant County. I want what's best for Grant County. But as an elected official by the whole county, everybody, not just the ones that's here tonight, do we make a good informed decision? Is it our job to get the whole project put together, look at all the facts, and then make a decision on it? What do you expect of your elected officials? I think that's my job. There's 18,000 people live in Grant County. 18,000. No,
Who
sir.
are you?
I'm Randy Pruitt, Grant County Judge.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, I mean, you cut me, I believe Grant County. I'm not gonna be for making a mistake for our community. But I think we owe it to the people of Grant County and our community to hear the project out. That's all this is a resolution, say, go put together a project. Our agreement's not gonna be with Clean, we're gonna be dealing with the end user. Whoever it is. We made a trip, some of us guys made a trip to Dallas this last weekend and looked at 3 data centers. 2 of them were Google, and I forget who the other one was, Mike, I forgot who those were. A smaller one. But one of them, close to equivalent to this one. It's 400 megawatt, this one they're proposing is a 500. And we do have more information, and that's why, the only reason I added them to it, they've got some new information that our guys haven't even heard yet. That's why I put them on the agenda, not because of anything that was said here tonight.
I simply asked why you put them on the agenda, because you have 3 days that they have to be on the agenda.
No, they don't. Where's that?
Senate Bill 227.
Senate Bill 227. Well, I'm just telling you, our agenda gets moved around a lot around here. Not saying that that's not in state law, if it is, I need to brush up on that. We do what it takes to get the job done here. The last thing I'm gonna do is, we're not gonna have a back and forth here tonight. I don't wanna go there. There will be, if this passes tonight, if the resolution's passed, it's in there twice. This is a non-binding agreement. We're under no obligation. We have no commitments to anyone. We can pull out at any time and say, absolutely not. But we need to gather some information first. So, I've had some phone calls. I've had a couple of negatives. I've had 5 or 6 that think we ought to hear it out, think it's a great idea. We've got people in the crowd here that wanted to come tonight because they helped design them. We got people that work in them, and so I know we hear horror stories, and I'm gonna let these guys get into a little bit more of the specifics, but I just want to clarify, we're not making a decision tonight to build a data center in Grant County. That will be down the road. There will be public meetings held where all of you can come and say all you want. You can. This is a meeting that's held in the public. This is not a public and open public meeting where we can just have a conversation back and forth. We've got a lot on the agenda to talk about tonight. So we've got a lot of work and business to tend to. So there will be opportunities if this passes, if this resolution passes, all it's doing is giving them a kind of a half thumbs up, go get the project, put it together, show us exactly where the buildings are gonna sit, how much buffer's gonna be around outside, exactly how much water use is gonna be, where the water's gonna come from. They haven't determined all of that yet. We don't know the answer to those questions yet. So it's hard to say, we're assuming you're gonna mess up our water system. We don't know that. There hadn't been any studies done. We hadn't dug into that yet. We don't know. Do you have the answer to that?
I was just saying no, because it's not back and forth, so. I don't know.
Anyway, that's a court. Do y'all have anything you'd like to add? I'm gonna turn it over to Clean Energy. Let you know, they have some new information to share. They have some numbers on water tonight. But these guys haven't heard it yet. I'll let you say something. What do you think?
Yeah, I know it's not back and forth, but just for clarification, what's the purpose of the resolution? Why do they need a resolution?
They don't want to do it. They don't want to go and spend more money planning this project if they know that this body's not going to entertain giving them a tax abatement. They're not going to. That's what I mean. We've got the ability to say no. We'll just vote down their tax incentive, and they'll go somewhere else. There's other counties begging for it. I can introduce you to them.
Send them over there.
Please go.
I can introduce you to them. There's other counties fighting to get these projects built in their communities.
I want some names. Send them over.
But I'm just telling you, so, you know, that's your answer though. I mean,
The resolution to make them feel more comfortable in doing.
that means we'll consider. That means we're not just saying no right now. Show us the project, get all the specifics, and let us look at the specifics. the specifics. We'll consider giving the tax abatement. We're not approving the tax abatement. It'll take an ordinance. That's Potomac County law. It'll take a vote of these people right here to pass an ordinance to give the tax abatement. And that'll be done down the road. It's just really premature to make those decisions now. Clean cloud.
Sorry we're causing such a kerfuffle here. Apologies. My name is Raj Kiswani. I'm president of Clean Cloud Energy. This is Clark Bixler. He's head of development at Clean Cloud Energy. Brody, thank you for your presentation, the facts you gave, et cetera. They're very, very, very useful, and you did a lot of work. I want to just clarify a couple of things. First, the re-NRG, I caught a glimpse of the logo. That's not us. We've never had any intersection with crypto mining. I wouldn't let my kids get a job associated with crypto mining. It's like there's not an ounce of it in our business or our DNA, so it's a different business. And some of the 500 million, 7 billion, the places that we worked in the past where they had those kinds of assets under management, or maybe we collectively worked on just making transactions in our lives. It's not kind of this radical transformation where we suddenly became wealthy. We're not. We are here to talk to you about a data center in your community. We're just trying to see if it's going to pencil. Does it work? Is it a possibility? And a few things need to come together for us to do that. And then what we would do is come and present to you, here is the owner and operator of the data center. Is it Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon? This is the use of the data center, not crypto, just calculating information, compute, etc. A lot of communities do want data centers. A lot of counties do, because there are a lot of attributes. But there are a huge number of natural concerns that every community should have. And all of you feeling this way is a reflection of that, and it's our job to answer the questions. Nothing's ever perfect. You're not going to get everything you want without any cost to and we're aware of that. And you may choose you don't want it here, and so be it. We're not going to stuff anything down your throat, because let me just tell you what goes into a data center, what makes it successful. 3 things, and in this order. Power. There's not a lot of power left in the US transmission grid. So where you can find power, that's really critical, because data centers consume a lot of power. There's a good story behind the power here. Good in that it's available, and good it's not stealing any of your power or changing your power prices. 2, community support. I don't know where we stand on that issue. Based on things so far, I've had better days, but community support is critical for a data center. No one's building a data center where the community doesn't want it. And then 3, real estate. Can you find land for the data center? Is it close to a substation, et cetera, et cetera? Those are the 3 attributes that are part of a data center. We're here talking about a tax abatement that we do not need right now. But what it does show is that we've had a conversation with the community, and the community is saying, go ahead. We're not promising you the tax abatement, but it's something we would consider. That allows us to go to Google, and one of the first questions one of these companies is going to ask is, how does the local community feel? If the answer is they hate it, they stoned us and threw us out of the courthouse, well, Google's not going to want to come, right? Because you don't have the community part of what creates a good data center. But if the community is open-minded, says we'll sign a non-binding resolution for a tax abatement, and then that lets us go out and say the community's at least open-minded about this. We're going to have to get a lot more specifics. We're going to see how it affects them. That's what we're trying to do right here. Nothing more, nothing permanent. It's a non-binding resolution. I just want to talk about a couple of things that I think are important. So he's going to talk about the negative, like the things you're concerned about and why you might not want this here. I'm going to talk about the positive. So forgive me if it sounds like I'm just skewing one way or the other. Tax revenue. I think if this data center happens here, it will generate approximately $300 million of tax revenue over the next 30 years for Grant County. 2, jobs. During construction, the project should generate about 1,200 construction jobs, and once it's operating, between 100 and 130 full-time jobs. New families moving into the area, buying homes, etc. I know one of the prides of Grant County is the school system. Just driving in, the buildings are amazing. That tax revenue can be enshrined to make a great school system outstanding. One of the things I worry about, I have a 27-year-old and a 24-year-old, and they don't really love their jobs, and they're still living at home, etc. I worry about technology and how they're going to compete against AI and all of those things. Why couldn't part of the school system here be built around creating the next generation of workers in an AI-oriented area? You've got a data center doing AI potentially right here. Internships there. Apprenticeships. Turning the school system an AI-oriented curriculum to give them jobs when the machines to be taken over. All these things are part of what this would allow. I think it would be a big boost to the local businesses here. The 1,200 construction jobs, the 150 new families living here, that whole ecosystem of support they need. Existing businesses, I think, will have more revenue, and I think new businesses can be started. And that's really it on the positive side. And I'll let him talk about the negative side now.
Thanks, Raj, for giving me the fun part. As Raj mentioned, my name is Clark Bixler. I'm the Director of Development at Clean Cloud Energy. Just a little background on myself. So live in Northwest Oklahoma. My family farms and ranches there. Some of the same property that we homesteaded back in 1897. Water is incredibly important to us. Water's been brought up tonight. Water's been brought up in the weeks that have been leading up to this conversation tonight. If this was a facility that was going to be located in my own hometown, given my background, my initial concern is going to be water, and the first thing I'm going to do is start researching that data, looking online, and seeing how much water does a data center really consume? What impacts does it have to the local aquifers? The information that a lot of you all have been finding, it is absolutely accurate to what is being consumed by the data centers that are operating out there today. What's different about this data center and what we'll talk about is the evolution of the technology. So similar to my family in farming and ranching, my ancestors used a single sweep plow, and that was heard a big deal when there was a 3-sweep plow, and now the equipment that we have, it's the exact same thing with the data centers and the cooling technology. The water is consumed via the cooling technology. Large water consumption data centers are how those data centers that are currently operating are being cooled. That is changing going forward. One, because of the lack of water available, where power can be found, to Raj's point, but also just because of water scarcity and the concerns that communities such as yourself have. And so that technology has changed to where these facilities consume very little water and they're cooled via air chillers. So the model for this particular data center, being a closed loop air cooled system, and just having water that's being cooled internally within that closed loop system, consumes just over 200,000 gallons of water per year. The average household in Arkansas consumes approximately 130,000 gallons of water per year. This particular facility utilizing this technology would consume less than what 2 to 3 households would consume of water per year. Similar to, say, a hotel, a gas station, laundromat, our churches, all of those facilities are consuming from 150, some of them up to 300,000 gallons of water per year. With the technology that's being modeled on this facility, and really what you'll see as you research the data centers moving forward, this next wave of generation, those facilities are moving to air-cooled data centers, and the water consumption is dropping drastically because of the two things that I mentioned, the lack of water and then the concerns rightfully so, of the communities where those data centers are located. So we wanted to provide that information just to be able to educate the group here today on what they're seeing when they look online and they look up the historical water consumption of data centers, and why this particular facility and the facilities being built in the future years are likely going to be different. Another point is the sound. So there's lots of data out there about how loud these facilities are. Sheridan and Grant County specifically have a tremendous resource in terms of being able to reduce that noise impact. Many of these facilities that are constructed are not built on timberland. They don't have the tree buffer around them to be able to reduce the noise. They're also built near large cities, and so they're land constrained. Here, we have the opportunity to set our data center back, to have a setback between the property lines, between adjacent homes and the public, to be able to reduce that noise. Our models show for this size of a facility, and Randy mentioned it correctly, the decibel reading for this facility, it would be just over 50 decibels, which is less than the conversation I'm having with you here today. So a refrigerator operates at about 40 decibels. Our facility is modeling to operate at 52. A normal conversation is at 60 decibels, and a vacuum cleaner is at 70 decibels. Now, obviously that depends how close you are to the source of that noise. Like I said, the benefit that we have here that many communities across the US do not have is that tree buffer and the amount of acreage to be able to accommodate the community's concerns and to set that facility further away from those points of concern. Another concern being electricity, which Raj mentioned here. Data centers consume a tremendous amount of electricity. It is challenging in the US to find locations that have enough electricity to support a data center. Grant County has a tremendous resource in the substation and the high voltage transmission lines that are located there. You'll see interaction with us and CNL. CNL being your distribution co-op for very likely many of you. The thing about this facility is the power coming to this building and likely all of your homes and your businesses is reaching you via the distribution, the low voltage distribution network. The data center will be located next to the high voltage transmission lines and substation, take that power directly from the substation. It will not be pulling electricity from your distribution system that's powering our lights here and all our businesses in the community. Certainly CNL would be serving us as they are the load serving entity in this area, but that's because, as I said, they're the load serving entity, not that we are tied to the same system that is providing power to you all's homes. The power is available today on the transmission system. It's not something to where new generations having to be built for this facility, or we're taking power and we're going to begin having blackouts and conserving energy here. This power is available on the system currently, and oftentimes being exported out of the county and out of the state because it's not needed, it's not being consumed right here. So this facility would be taking advantage of electricity that's already on the system and likely not having an impact on you all and your homes. And then, I guess, Raj, you already touched on the crypto, so we just wanted to address some of these topics with you all tonight. I know that it's not going to address every concern, but we wanted to take the opportunity to answer some of those questions, to talk about some of the points, to distinguish why the history of data centers and the technology that was built for those facilities in the past is different, and you all will see that changing going forward, and how those impacts are different for this data center, the wave of data centers being built in the future and this community.
I got a question. That 52 decibels, where was that?
So what that was modeled off of,
I mean, but no, where is that taken? Is that in the data center?
500 feet outside, on the outside.
that's correct. Yes.
said, as far as the water usage, if it's only like for 2 or 3 houses, or just average, whatever, I'm not trying to tie it down, why would you have to dig into the aquifer for this then?
It would be coming from either the groundwater or potentially tying in to the community's water source, just as any other home or business is. That's one thing that we're gonna have to continue to do additional research on. I mean, obviously, we're not going to tie into a community's water system if there's not the infrastructure there to support that, and that pushes us to then see if there's the groundwater available to support that. But that's part of the due diligence that we have to continue to look into, as Randy mentioned, and also as he mentioned, we're available, and we're gonna make ourselves available in future meetings to allow everybody to ask questions and to answer these. And you know, today we're not gonna have an answer to every question. We've had some questions before, we haven't known the answer, and we're not gonna tell you anything that's not factual or not factual to the best of our ability, but we'll certainly take those back and try to get you the best information that we can. There's what we feel is a great opportunity here, but this is an opportunity that we would be pursuing with you all and with the court here as a community, if that's in the interest of the court and the community.
Can I just, on that closing note, this is not, this only works if we do this with you, with all of you. Not if we prescribe, this is how it's gonna be, take it or leave it. For this to be successful, we all have to work together. And it's far from our interest to jam anything down someone's throat. It's collaborative.
Quick question, or quick question, real simple. You referred to a lot of model data as well as the design. Have you actually built this system and have real data for it? Right now it's model, and this new technology and this new air cooling. This is all proposal, and this was the first time you developed this data?
So Google and Microsoft have been spending enormous amounts of money on this, and they've developed data centers with this technology. Have we done it ourselves? No, but are the people that would likely be the tenants of this, have they done it? Do they have prototypes? Is this what it's going to be going forward for them? Yes. So it's not hypothetical. They've spent the R&D dollars, and they have data centers with this technology. We've not done it yet. But we wouldn't be the ones over it. All right. Moving along. Last question.
Will the preliminary technical development be made public domain where people can review those facts regarding environmental impact to the water, the noise, also other fugitive emissions, the refrigerant that's going to be used for your air cooling system? Will that be made public domain prior to a binding resolution?
Okay. Yeah. So I would say, to the extent that it is able to be released to the public at that point, specifically regarding some environmental features, oftentimes the environmental consultants don't want that information just released to the public about, you know, if there's any sensitive features, species, anything like that, and that's a private report with the company and with any other potential parties. But anything that is publicly available that we're able to release, certainly we'd be able to.
And I want to tell you again, there will be, I can't see us handling it in one public meeting if this moves forward. It's gonna be multiple meetings that you all get to say everything you would like to say before a vote is taken to finalize anything. We're not trying to force feed anything. We want what's best for this community. If it happens to work out and we can tap into revenue, why sure. But if it doesn't, we'll be against it. I mean, rest assured, we're Grant County people here. We don't want something negative in our community.
Is there a solar farm associated with this project?
Mm-hmm.
Same people, same project?
Same, it's associated with the project, but one doesn't need the other to survive. So the solar project can happen and inject power into the grid and have nothing to do with the data center. Naturally, the data center can survive and maybe the solar doesn't. They're not codependent on each other. They'll help each other. Power is going into the same location, power is being drawn, so like the physics of it would be helpful, but they're not codependent on each other.
Where will the internet bandwidth come from?
Internet bandwidth.
Fiber, so long haul fiber. There's fiber that goes into your house, which comes off of big, robust, long haul fiber, and probably 10 miles on either side of Sheridan, there are 2 huge trunks of long haul fiber.
Well, I can assure you, people around here will tell you how bad our internet service is right now. And if it affects our internet in any form or fashion, I can tell you it's a big 0 for me.
It won't make it worse, and it could transform it, because you're gonna have the fattest pipes of fiber coming into this community.
We
So
already have.
it's easy for me to promise to say yes and whatnot. I don't wanna overpromise, but I would think it would help.
Now, those are the kind of answers we want. We want to gather that information, so. All right, moving on. Resolution number 2025-02. Well, wait, Quorum Courts, any of you want to say, do y'all have any comments? No?
Resolution number 2025-02. A resolution of the Quorum Court of Grant County, Arkansas, expressing the county's preliminary intent to enter into a payment in lieu of taxes pilot arrangement with Sheridan Data Center LLC, the company, with respect to development of a data center to be located in Grant County. Whereas the county is committed to encouraging economic development projects to expand the local tax base, create high-quality jobs, and enhance critical digital infrastructure. And whereas the company proposes to construct, equip, own, and operate a data center facility within the county consisting of buildings, servers, electrical and mechanical systems, and related personal property collectively to the project. And whereas the project is expected to generate significant economic benefits to Grant County, including local construction employment, long-term operations jobs, and direct and indirect spending with local businesses, while advancing the county's goals of diversifying its tax base and supporting clean energy infrastructure. And whereas the company has requested that Grant County consider a pilot program for 30 years, pursuant to which the company would remit to the county for the benefit of the county, its school districts, and other affected tax communities, annual payments equal to 35% of the ad valorem taxes that would otherwise have been levied on the project's personal property or such property not exempt from taxation. And whereas such pilot arrangement provide the county and affected taxing units with long-term predictable revenues while offering the company financial certainty necessary to secure investment capital and advance the project to construction. And whereas the Quorum Court desires to express its preliminary support for the proposed pilot arrangement, subject to the negotiation and execution of a definitive agreement consistent with this resolution and with applicable law, it being understood that this resolution is non-binding and does not itself create a contractual obligation on the part of Grant County. Therefore, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Grant County, Arkansas, Section 1, preliminary approval of pilot concept. The Quorum Court hereby declares its preliminary intent to authorize a payment in lieu of taxes program for the project whereby the company will remit to Grant County annual payments equal to 35% of the ad valorem taxes if otherwise been payable with respect to the project's personal property if such property were not exempt from taxation. Section 2, negotiation of definitive agreement. The county judge, with the assistance of the county attorney and any other appropriate county official, is hereby authorized and directed to negotiate but not execute a definitive pilot agreement with the company that is consistent with the economic terms set forth in Section 1, allocates pilot revenues among the county, its school districts, and other affected tax units in accordance with applicable law. Provisions for reporting, auditing, security for payments, and remedies for default, and D is subject to final approval by ordinance or resolution of the Quorum Court. Section 3, non-binding nature. This resolution is an expression of present intent only and and does not constitute a binding obligation of Grant County or its core court. No legal or equitable right shall accrue to the company or any other person by virtue of this resolution unless and until the definitive pilot agreement is approved by the core court and executed by the parties. Section 4, severability. If any section, clause, or provision of this resolution is declared invalid or unenforceable by a court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect the remaining provisions. Each shall continue in full force and full effect. Section 5, effective date. This resolution shall be effective immediately upon its adoption.
Teresa, you read over this in your company notes, right?
I'm going to adopt resolution 2025-02.
Motion by Jason to adopt, second by Mike. Is there any discussion? Hearing none.
Allen,
Yes.
Bone,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Drake,
Yes.
Nevin,
Yes.
Rostow,
Yes.
Wells.
Yes.
I will announce for the record, we have two that are not here, and I have text, one from each. One was a no, and one was a yes. I'm not gonna give any names, because actually they can't. But just for the record, so you know, that was, there's two missing, and those were their faults. Resolution number 2025-03.
Resolution number 2025-03, a resolution of the Quorum Court of Grant County, Arkansas, expressing the county's preliminary intent to enter into a payment in lieu of taxes pilot arrangement with RENRG AR1 LLC, the company, with respect to the development of a solar energy generation facility located in Grant County.
I'm having problems hearing you, I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing, could you speak up?
Can you
I'm so
repeat that?
sorry.
We can't hear back here.
Whereas the company proposes to construct, own, and operate a solar photovoltaic electric generating facility for projects within Grant County, Arkansas, consisting of personal property and related improvements that will interconnect to the regional transmission grid and deliver clean, renewable energy. And whereas Arkansas Constitutional Amendment 101 and Arkansas Code Annotated 14-14-801 authorize counties to promote economic development to encourage the location of renewable energy projects and to enter into agreements providing for payments in lieu of ad valorem taxes on property that would otherwise be exempt. And whereas the project is expected to generate significant economic benefits to Grant County, including local construction employment, long-term operations jobs, and direct and indirect spending with local businesses, while advancing the county's goals of diversifying its tax base and supporting clean energy infrastructure. And whereas the company has requested that Grant County consider a pilot program for 30 years, pursuant to which the company would remit to the county for the benefit of the county, its school districts, and other affected tax communities, annual payments equal to 35% of the ad valorem taxes that would otherwise have been levied on the project's personal property or such property not exempt from taxation. And whereas such pilot arrangement would provide the county and affected tax units with long-term predictable revenues while offering the company financial certainty necessary to secure investment capital and advance the project to construction. And whereas the Quorum Court desires to express its preliminary support for the proposed pilot arrangement, subject to the negotiation and execution of a definitive agreement consistent with this resolution and with applicable law. It being understood that this resolution is non-binding and does not accept create a contractual obligation on the part of Grant County. Now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Grant County, Arkansas, Section 1, preliminary approval of pilot concept. The Quorum Court hereby declares its preliminary intent to authorize a payment in lieu of taxes program for the project whereby the company will remit to Grant County annual payments equal to 35% of the ad valorem taxes that would otherwise have been due and payable with respect to the project's personal property if such property were not exempt from taxation. Section 2, negotiation of the definitive agreement. The county judge, with the assistance of the county attorney or any other appropriate county officials, is hereby authorized and directed to negotiate but not execute a definitive pilot agreement with the company that A, is consistent with the economic terms set forth in section 1, B, allocates pilot revenues among the county, its school districts, and other effective taxing units in accordance with applicable law, C, contains provisions for reporting, auditing, security of payments, and remedies for default, and D, is subject to final approval by ordinance or resolution of the Quorum Court. Section 3, non-binding nature. This resolution is an expression of present intent only and does not constitute a binding obligation of Grant County or its Quorum Court. No legal or shall accrue to the company or any other person by virtue of this resolution unless and until a definitive pilot agreement is approved by the Quorum Court and executed by the parties. Section 4, severability. If any section, clause, or provision of this resolution is declared invalid or unenforceable by a court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect the remaining provisions, which shall continue in full force and effect. Section 5, effective date. This resolution will be effective immediately upon its adoption.
Hey Randy, real quick, he said company's name in section 1, what was that company that you said?
We're addressing that.
Okay, yeah, but we would like an explanation too, when you're done. Because I'm pretty sure he said that's not who they are.
I move we adopt resolution 2025-03.
Motion by Chase to adopt. Second.
Okay, wait a minute.
All right, now we're open for, now we're gonna handle the discussion phase.
Yeah.
We're gonna handle that.
Have a big issue right now.
Yeah, we did.
Just come up.
We called it too. Come on.
That's what we've been trying to tell you though, Randy, like, it's
Not
not
till
new
today.
information.
You didn't tell me till today.
Because we're not allowed to. We gotta do it in a public forum.
So, I was informed that what I said didn't come, I made it sound like we were not,
Is what you made it sound like.
Yeah.
You made it sound like I was lying, everything I No, we're okay.
He's got the floor. He's got the floor right now.
our business started out as a renewable energy company, the solar. It was called ReNRG. My point was we had nothing to do with crypto. We have never touched crypto. We have nothing to do with
That's not. You said that is a totally different company. It is
Sorry,
not.
I saw,
Nothing to do with it.
I said that was not our logo. That was, it sounds like a
That's not what
re-energy.
you said. No, you said both. Because anybody had it.
I humbly apologize.
You should.
The fact, I'm sorry. We were a solar developer of re-energy, no intersection with crypto in the slightest.
I think you lied to us.
Yes, quite right.
I'm terribly sorry.
Can we do a vote now?
I'm terribly,
I don't care what you have to say.
I'm terribly sorry, but there was,
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to tell you.
we are, we were, I never,
Why would you say you had no association or no affiliation with that?
with crypto.
No, we didn't.
No, you said the name was
You said Ria.
And you say we have no
Then,
affiliation with it.
wait, I made a mistake. I apologize. Then I said it.
Who is this company? And how do we know we can trust?
ReNRG developed solar projects.
Let's just talk about it.
And then,
Let's go to a vote.
and our name, and we changed our name to Clean Cloud Energy because we were focusing on data centers.
I said that, I said that.
I'm not disputing we changed our name. I was only disputing we had nothing to do with crypto.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you still have nothing to do with our energy. It's recorded.
Lie about it and take it out.
We're paying attention.
I'm sorry.
Let's do it a vote.
All right, so let's go to the vote.
let's,
That's the resolution.
I have a question real quick.
No, well,
Where's the information that's saying ReNRG is a crypto miner?
We don't care if you're crypto miner. You denied that
You're
you were this
deflecting.
company.
Yeah, that's, don't go off the trail.
Is it?
No,
I made a mistake, I'm sorry.
well, that's cost you.
lied.
That's
Hopefully that cost you everything.
This is-
Hopefully you're no longer that CEO of that company because of your
this,
mistake.
this is not getting us anywhere, I can tell you that.
It's
So,
getting us
where do y'all want to go? Y'all want to just go ahead and get a motion to say unless somebody wants to remove the motion, or we can just vote.
Table it. Table it?
I rescind my motion.
We got a motion rescinded. We're not gonna deal with that today, so,
Hopefully ever.
Will we have a public meeting for when we are gonna deal with it?
it'll be another meeting like this, yes. Yes, it'll be another,
We're not making
all
it
of our
rainy.
meetings are open to the
Ray,
public.
all due respect, truly, because we've been on another level, which like, we've known each other forever, like, we didn't make this up. And I know we sound crazy, he actually said,
No.
I think I sound crazy.
You're right.
Literally what he said, is I feel like I sound crazy. And this guy told me about this 18 months ago, he did. Nothing ever came of it. And so honestly, I thought he was crazy. Nothing ever came of it. The data center never came, never knew. A little
Okay,
bit more than a year later, hang on, it's here.
No, we don't have to wait, we understand, we do understand.
We're gonna support you.
Then vote it down.
Vote it down. Will the people.
All right, we got, it's been rescinded.
How can we know what to trust?
So we're putting that away. We're gonna move on to our next item on the agenda.
Everybody ready time to be here.
I'm sorry.
You should, that's like, he's not crazy, and y'all all thought he was crazy. And he's just trying to look out for all of you,
I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just saying, today's the first day I heard any of that information.
Well,
But it's been verified.
You have the
Yeah, that's
information
what I,
though.
well, why would you?
We just didn't pass the resolution through.
Well, you
But you didn't deny it.
Rescinded the motion, they didn't make a motion to get rid of it.
How did we not know this?
so are we tabling it and having another meeting later? Or are we saying no to this right now? Are we tabling it?
Yeah.
Without the resolution, that's right.
Yeah.
What was the other thing that y'all just voted on?
The data center. Data center
That's not
resolution, but I don't, my understanding is one is hand in hand with the other, right? One about the other.
They're separate.
So they're separate resolutions.
It could be, but how can we get verification?
Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda, which is resolution number 2025-04, which is this is something that the governor has asked all the counties to support, and it's for a celebration of 250-year anniversary or celebration. So Gerald, if you'll read resolution going